Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We are taking the TEQ SSJ Carnival exclusive Goku, such a mouthful, into ESBR for his final test. We have taken him into the Goku event. Bread and butter, he gets to stack, he has guard. Absolute breeze for him. We've taken him in to the likes of the red zone against Broly. My first attempt in red zone since finally finishing it all them weeks ago during the anniversary. He beats it. Absolute breeze. We've taken him in against Cell Max event. I could not beat it no matter what method I chose to save my goddamn life. Good thing my life wasn't actually on the line, otherwise I probably wouldn't be here right now. He's the reason why I beat the Cell Max event. Now we take him into his final test, which isn't even the hardest content in the game. Don't get me wrong, ESBR is definitely a lot more difficult than it used to be because they're constantly updating it, constantly upscaling the difficulty. But this is his final test. And as I said so far, he's made content look like an absolute breeze. He is generally, I mean, not only is he naturally one of the best units in both Global and JP, easily top 3, but since Vegeta and Trunks aren't out on Global, top 2 easily. I would have to say this Goku's probably one of my favorite units in the game. He is so good. He is so good. Not to mention he has some fantastic linking partners, some great rotations, amazing link set. We're going to run him with the gods just because I really do enjoy running that rotation. Not only that as well, I would run him with the EZA TEQ, however that is a whole separate video to do. So that's why I'm not running him with the EZA TEQ. We will eventually though. Goten should be dead, surely. I mean, I hope so. I mean, we do have a Whis active, but still. That type disadvantage worries me. But surely with type advantage with Goku, we should do enough damage, and then Broly should clean up, especially if he gets additionals. Yeah, Goten's gonna be dead before we get to Super Vegeta. Broly will do enough damage, and again, he's got his additionals. But he has generally conquered every single event in the game. Like he generally has conquered every single event in the game. The only thing I haven't attempted using him in is against the Mega Shenron, but I don't doubt that he would be amazing against the Mega Shenron, considering Broly is more difficult. But he is generally one of the best units in the game, and there's no debate. There's literally, I don't think there can be a debate. He is that good. You know, whoever you kind of prefer. I mean, Global is kind of not fair to say. Vegeta and Trunks kind of not out yet, even though they are still definitely top 3 unit in the game, especially on JP. Between him and Cooler on Global right now, it's between them two who's the best in the game. It is between them two and who's the best in the game. And I don't think there's any debate between either of them. For me, there's no debate for Goku. But I feel like those two are that good, and Goku is that good for me, to me especially. Him being my #1, him being my MVP, the GOAT. I think is one of those where you don't even argue if one's better than the other. I think whoever you prefer being your favorite or the best, I think you just accept it. If one of your friends says to you, Cooler's my #1 in Dokkan right now, I feel like you just accept and go, okay, fair enough. And if you think Goku's the best, then you just turn around and do the same thing. Okay, fair enough. Because they are both that good. But Goku, for me, as I said, has been my MVP. He has been my GOAT. He is the reason why I've conquered some of the hardest events and stages in the game. He's also, oh, excuse me, bit of a hiccup. He's so good that I can't control my bodily functions. But he's so good. He's the reason why I beat the Cell Max event. Yes, I've been using Cooler recently. He's also phenomenal. I would really like a dupe in him, but fortunately that wasn't meant to be. I did actually try an extra rotation, didn't get him. But he's generally that good. The only kind of thing that is a little bit of a downside in ESBR for the TEQ SSJ Carnival Goku is ESBR is 5-6 turns long in each fight. You know, Cell Max event is kind of on par with that, and obviously astronomically difficult. But did I use an Icarus or a Whis? I used an Icarus. Does he have his guard? I mean, it's 60% HP or more. I'm pretty sure that's 60% HP or more, right? Like, it's got to be. We're also going to get the 18 key, which means he gets the stack, which is fantastic. I'm going to heal just to be safe. We're going to give him some extra defense. Like, just to be safe. Gotenks is actually stunned. So we're just going to completely go for him. But, you know, the only thing that's a downside when it comes to ESBR is you're usually in here for 5-6 turns per fight. Unfortunately for Goku, even though I don't really necessarily think it's that much of a big deal because he already has his guard, however, because of how hard ESBR hits, having 60% or more HP may be a little bit more difficult to maintain, especially of how hard ESBR hits nowadays. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Obviously, it's not red zone level, some of the red zone stage levels, but it's still quite a lot. But the only thing that's kind of against him is you don't really have much time to stack him up. You can stack him up somewhat, again, in 5-6 turns. Not a whole lot, but somewhat. I think that's the only thing against him. That is literally the only thing against him. And maybe that he's not doing 10 million attack stats, I mean, especially at 55%, but considering how good he is defensively, that doesn't really matter. 6 mil while doing as good as he is defensively, it is fine, it's amazing. But I think that's the only thing against him in ESBR is you don't get to really stack him up that much. And even then, I don't think it's going to be that much of a problem because as long as your HP is 60% or above, especially if you have him on rotation immediately, he's guarding, which means it's a little bit safer for you to get that extra 59% defense active, which means he's tanking even better that turn. And then on top of that, he's actually going to, again, it's not a lot, but he will stack up a little bit while you're, you know, going for 5-6 turns in each fight in ESBR. And then, even if you do take too much damage, he has the revive. In ESBR, you get to bring 4 items with you. And you essentially have an extra healing item with you because of his revive, which is fantastic. And even then, one of the main strats you can do in ESBR is force him to die, force him to get the revive active, so you can then guard at all times and not have to worry about your HP being at 60% or above. That way, the fact that Goku isn't stacking, or the fact that you may not have or be able to maintain 60% HP or above because of how hard ESBR hits, isn't an issue because he's going to be guarding at all times anyway. And then you can conserve the rest of your 4 of items that you have left, you know, your Whis, your Raitors, your Snakes, your Icaruses, Ushers, Yemas, whatever you decide to bring, for later on during the fight. And the beauty of it is, okay, he's stacked, guard active, got the initial hit. 145k. I'm not gonna lie, 145k on the fact he's stacked, what, twice? He's got his extra 59% defense, and he had his guard active. 145k on a 2-man ESBR fight, which is where they're doing the most damage, because, you know, if you didn't know this, even though the majority of you probably do, the less enemies, the more HP, or the more damage they typically do. But 145k is actually really good. A lot of the best units in the game, or a lot of the better units in the game, still would have took like 200 to 300k on that, which is also not bad considering how hard ESBR hits nowadays. That's really annoying that you left him with that much health. I'm literally borderline dead because Goku decided to not get an extra additional. Like, I know he doesn't have a dupe in him, but kind of wild. That is kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie, I am gonna heal now, just so when I go into the next fight, Goku will have his guard. Or hopefully will have his guard. But yeah, 145k on a super is actually pretty decent. Again, considering these new ESBR stages are gonna clap you for 200 to 300k, even on some of the better units in the game. So that's still pretty good. And again, he's barely stacked up because we don't have the time to. As I said, the fact he can't stack that much isn't that much of an issue because of his guard. So even though a longer event is a little bit more kind of suited to his kit, he's still performing really well. We'll use a Whis because he's also going to have Type Disadvantage here. He will get his extra 59% defense, but he hasn't. There's no stack, so we will use a Whis. We're gonna get the 18 key off, which is perfect. I'm actually super attacking the wrong person. That's kind of annoying, but we move. We're just carrying super attacking Vegeta Jr. and we should get the Dokkan attack off next turn. Yeah, obviously with an item active, even though he hasn't even supered yet, he's taking nothing. Like, that's not to be surprised. Considering how good he is defensively, even without stacking the guard, the 59% defense, and an item active by getting a Whis, with what, 40% damage reduction? Yeah, he's fine. He's literally indestructible at that point. But he is doing really well. As I said, the fact he's not being able to stack that much because you're in each fight for 5 or 6 turns really isn't an issue. And even then, as an insurance policy, as I said, you can kind of go down that strat and force his revive off to have him guard at any times, at all times, which is fine. It's definitely a good way to go. Or if you're not going to force it and you're actually going to conserve it and save it for when you really need it so you can actually conserve items, you know, that's also another fantastic insurance policy, as I like to call them. Because, you know, because we're going to get the Dokkan attack off, we do still have the Whis active, but I'm going to pop the Icarus as well. We are not going to get a super attack off of you because that is a waste. I probably should have put Super Vegeta in slot 1 so he could have got the extra attack and defense plus 50% for getting hit. That's... Yeah, I should have done that. That's kind of stupid. I should have done that. That was kind of stupid because then he could have done even more damage, but it's fine. It's fine because he would have taken hardly any damage. Once the initial hit was out the way, he would have had a Whis and an Icarus active. Oh well, we're fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah, he's doing really well. As I said, if you want to conserve the active skill, which is probably... Ah, we missed 2. I'm meant to be like a pro Dokkan player. This is my thing. I'm out here missing 2 nodes, two thingies on Dokkan attack. Damn. Bit rusty. Bit rusty. Alright, that doesn't usually happen. That's what she said. But yeah. Where was I going with this? Yeah, the revive is such a fantastic insurance policy to have. Like, if you're not going to go down the strategy of let me get it off as quick as possible so he can guard at all times, which is also a very good strategy to have so you permanently have guard, you know, it helps you conserve items. It's another method of healing. You know, if you decide to bring 1 healing item in an ATA, he's basically giving you an extra item to do so. But it is very handy and something very useful you can make use of. We still have the Icarus active, the Whis is gone. We're attacking first, which means he actually gets to stack up once. He's not even on 200k defense yet, but he definitely does have his guard, obviously. Do I want to use an Usher? I don't think I do. Or do I? Because even the gods haven't really built up at all. Naturally. Don't know, do I? Do I use... I'm going to use an Usher. I'm going to use an Usher. It's not even for Goku. It's not even because of Goku. It's just in case because of the gods, because they haven't stacked up whatsoever either. But unfortunately, because we're past turn 1 in this fight, the gods don't have their guard, where of course Goku does. But he's still doing really, really well here. Like, really, really well here. I mean, he's done amazingly well in pretty much every single piece of content in the game, which is fantastic. That's what you want some of the best units in the game to do. That's what you want some of the best units in the game to be. You want them to be dominant in every single piece of challenging content in the game, ranging from Super Battle Road to Red Zone, to potentially, because it's kind of an anomaly event specifically, but Cell Max event as well. You know, I know some easy A's dropping people are like, oh, they're not that good here, they're not that good there. Specific things don't, like, easy A's don't always have to be like the best easy in the game. They don't always have to be, you know, able to conquer every single challenging piece of content. Yes, would it be nice if there were more frequent easy A's that did? But when you're dropping new kind of LR formats, new kind of more powerful LRs, Tilcoin LRs like this Carnival exclusive Goku and the Dokkan Fest, you want them to be dominant in a lot of, or at least very, very good in a lot of the harder content in the game, and that's exactly what Goku's done. He was very, very good there. The stacking wasn't an issue. Once he gets to 59% along with his guard, he's fine. I didn't really kind of go for getting his revive off, but it was there if we need it to be. The only reason why we needed to use a few items here and there was more so because of the gods, because they had barely stacked up and didn't have their guard after turn 1. But another event where he's ridiculously good in. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace!